Hey Lilies, hope you're doing well. This is Satyanshi this side, and I'm here to start the next episode of Twin Roses, a Mad Eagle's Obsession. Sharanya was still engrossed in the thoughts of her past when she realized that someone is constantly knocking at the door. When sound became too loud, Sharanya snapped out of her thoughts. This time she was sitting on the sofa wearing the same bathrobe and holding a tube of antiseptic cream in her hands. She put that tube right there on the sofa and went and opened the door. A woman in her 30s to 40 years old was standing at the door. There was some stuff behind her. The woman passed that luggage forward and said, "Madam, your and Baba's luggage have arrived. Let me take it in your room. That's what I had come to give." Sharanya moved away from the door and gestured to bring the luggage inside. The woman kept the luggage and said, "Madam, if you need anything else, let me know." Sharanya smiled and said, "No, if I need anything, I'll tell you by myself." The woman said, "Okay, I'll go." When the woman started leaving, Sharanya said, "Listen." The woman stopped and said, "Yes, madam." Sharanya, "Your name?" The woman smiled and said, "Kanak." Sharanya smiled and said, "So, can I call you Kanak auntie? You are much older than me." Kanak also smiled and said, thinking something. By the way, I have no problem, Maanvi madam, but Niskarsh Baba may not like it because all of you are our masters and mistresses. We have to respect you. Sharanya, "Yeah, but it doesn't mean that you don't get the respect you deserve. Don't worry about Niskarsh, he won't mind." Kanak, "It's fine then." When Kanak started to leave, Sharanya stopped her and said, "Listen auntie." When Kanak stopped, Sharanya said, "You can ask Niskarsh once. Does he need anything?" Kanak, "Yes, madam." Kanak left from there. As soon as she left, Sharanya closed the door and took out her clothes from her luggage. By now it was night, so she put on a light yellow kurti and a white patiala salwar underneath. By the time Niskarsh returned, Sharanya had made her bed. When Niskarsh saw another bed on the floor, then he was surprised and said, "Why is the second bed placed?" Sharanya said, "In Canada we had separate rooms, but here we have to stay in the same room, so I can't sleep on the same bed with you. हमारी सिर्फ नाम की शादी हुई है." Niskash, "So you are going to sleep on the floor every day?" Sharanya widened her eyes and said, "What? Not at all." Niskash said in a confused state. Then Sharanya got up and showing her finger to Niskarsh said, "I alone have not married you. You have also married me. So then we'll sleep on the bed taking turns. One day you and the other day me." Niskarsh said in shock, "What? Not possible. Me, Niskarsh Bedi, will sleep on floor? Can't be." Sharanya, "Then get another bed installed." Niskarsh, "It can't be either." Sharanya, "Then listen to me, because every day I'm not going to sleep on the floor." Niskarsh smiled looking at Sharanya from top to bottom and said, "Such a big bed. You can sleep here. There is enough space for two people to sleep." Sharanya noticed his eyes and covered her chest with both her hands and said, "Not at all. When I'm ready to obey your every word, then you must be also obey me." Niskarsh smiled. Then without arguing with her anymore, he said, Okay, I agree." Sharanya, "That's better." Niskarsh went and lay on the bed, and Sharanya, she too lay down on her bed she had put up. Niskarsh thought for a while and then said softly, "Have you eaten yet? Have you had dinner?" No sound was heard in response. Today Sharanya was so tired that she fell asleep as soon as she lay down, and by now she had gone into a deep sleep. Niskarsh turned his face towards her and found her sleeping peacefully. So he didn't say anything further now. He just kept looking at Sharanya without making any sound. Looking at her face, Niskarsh sank into some thought. Maanvi came to Canada to delay her marriage with Abhiman Bhai. I was abandoned by my family at the age of 10. Maanvi became my only friend. I want my rights back from my family. Maanvi met with an accident and died. I have to fulfill Maanvi's last wish. Where is Sharanya in all this? She is nowhere. What is her fault in all this? I'm using her for my own benefit. I gave her Maanvi's face. I ruined her life. Will the association of my surname with her name be enough to make up for ruining her life? And that too with the name that I forced her to adopt. I snatched Sharanya from Sharanya. I bought Sharanya in between Maanvi and my problems. How did I snatch her existence from a girl? What the hell happened to me? Right now, Niskarsh was thinking all this. That's when Sharanya's voice was heard swearing. Niskarsh returned from his thoughts. He saw that Sharanya was sleeping very uncomfortably. She was repeatedly changing her sleeping position, which showed that she was having a lot of problems sleeping on the floor. Niskarsh got off the bed and went to Sharanya. The night bulb was still on, so in the dim light, Sharanya's face was blooming. This was not the face in which Niskarsh was lost for the first time. This was not the face that Niskarsh wanted to see again and again, and his eyes were going to that face from the rearview mirror. It was a familiar face, his friend Maanvi's face. But even though the face may be of Maanvi, but still the same feelings were coming in Niskarsh's mind when he first saw Sharanya smiling standing at his door. The face may not be right, but the feelings were still of Sharanya. Niskarsh didn't know what was happening to him. It was a very strange feeling, exactly the same feeling as he had just a while back when he heard Sharanya's cry. Niskarsh was once again lost in his thoughts. Only then Sharanya's soft voice fell in his ears. He saw that Sharanya was still sleeping, but her lips were moving. As Niskarsh bent down, he heard a half sentence. Mom, please don't, Mom. Don't do this, Mom. Niskarsh, ignoring her broken words, immediately but gently lifted her in his arms. Sharanya was looking like a small child in the Niskarsh's arms. While placing Sharanya on the bed, Niskarsh muttered softly, "Idiot." And then he slowly made Sharanya lie down on the other side of the bed. He took full care that Sharanya should not wake up. He remembered the doctor's word. It was not long before the accident. Sharanya had not fully recovered. She just needed complete rest. And Niskarsh first gave her such a big shock by making her Maanvi, and then after the accident, within a week, he married her. And then Sharanya had to work hard to become Maanvi. All the information had to be memorized in her mind, while she was strictly forbidden to take stress. And as soon as she recovered physically, Niskarsh brought her to India. And then on the top of that, whatever happened today, Sharanya was completely exhausted. And Niskarsh, he was remembering all these things now. Niskarsh lifted the blanket up to Sharanya and then came to his side and lay down. Unaware of all this, Sharanya kept sleeping peacefully. The next morning, Niskarsh woke up due to the pain in his arm. He was about to say something in a lazy voice. But as soon as he opened his eyes, he became completely calm. Neither did sound came out of his throat, and nor did he move at all. The beautiful Apsara wrapped in his arms was peacefully completing her sleep at this time. Till date, no girl has come so close to Niskarsh. At this point, Sharanya's face was very close to Niskarsh. So close that he was able to notice every little detail of her face. Long lashes that still rested comfortably on her cheek. The sindoor decorated with her hairline had now spread a little and had been applied somewhere on the Niskarsh's white t-shirt. Lips like rose petals, which were increasing Niskarsh's heartbeats at this point. His heart was just saying that, I wish if only at this time he would have been able to kiss those rose petal-like lips of Sharanya. But Niskarsh knew his limits. He'll never touch any girl without her consent, even if she is his own wife. But one thing was bothering him, and that was that suddenly today, why did he find Maanvi's face so beautiful? First of all, he never looked Maanvi in this way. Is it because she was his future sister-in-law, because before she was his friend and there was a range between them? Or was it because it was not Maanvi but Sharanya? He couldn't understand anything. Before he could stop himself from doing so, Niskash extended his fingers and tried to gently part the hair falling on Sharanya's face. Then he saw the wound on her head, which was bandaged. Guilt immediately appeared on Niskarsh's face. Still, he moved Sharanya's hair away from her face and put it behind her shoulder. As soon as he did so, Niskarsh was immediately noticed on the pale pink color of her neck. These were the fingerprints of Niskarsh, which had taken pink tint on the neck of Sharanya till now. Seeing those marks, Niskarsh immediately gritted his teeth. Why was he doing all this? For what was he punishing Sharanya? Why? Why every time he used to take out the anger of other people on Sharanya? Well, that's it for today's episode. Please let me know in the comment section whether you liked this episode or not. I'm waiting. And also share your thoughts about this episode. And show ढेर सारा प्यार.